We welcome your letters, comments, and phone calls. We can be contacted at 516-696-5677. Or you can write to us at Frank Discussion, P.O. Box 330, Selden, New York 11784. Also, we at Frank Discussion would like to make it entirely clear that the thoughts and opinions expressed within this photoplay are strictly ours and are not necessarily those of TCI Cable of Brookhaven. We are in no way affiliated with them, or are they with us. Hello, and welcome to Frank Discussion. Tonight is our first installment, and normally, I'm your guest, your host, Dave Glassman, and my guest, what I meant to say, is not here. So basically, I guess we'll have to just start off talking about topics that are just in the news. Just what I meant.
What is that, a fire or something?
How you doing? What I meant.
How are you, Dave?
Well, I was getting a little scared there. So we're just starting our first show. And,
it's cold out.
Audience, I just want to let you know this is our guest.
Thanks, guys. The crew's been doing this for me.
Our guest, Thomas McNulty.
5 cents. I like that. Thank you. Hi, how are you?
So, Tom, before we start the show, would you like something to drink?
I'd love to drink.
Is Scotch okay?
Scotch would be
Johnny
fine.
Walker Black, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, man. Just like, you remember the first day we met, that's what.
Yeah. At the beginning of every show, we always have to get ourselves a drink, get ourselves loosened up. So when we talk, it would just be two guys talking.
Yeah.
Frank discussion, where we discuss what you discuss.
It's true.
So just bear with us for the first few moments while we set this all up. So,
Just a little bit there.
this one? Yeah. Quite. Okay. So, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a couple of days now already.
I've been doing pretty good.
What have you been up to?
Well, last time I saw you, there was that movie taking place in Port Jeff, where they used me as one of the street people, as a street person.
Are you talking about the movie Craig Shepard?
That was quite enjoyable.
Yeah, there was a movie just being shot out here in without Port Jefferson Station.
That's right.
Port Jefferson Station. A former resident from Port Jeff. His name is Craig Shepard. He's a recent NYU graduate, and he decided to shoot his first movie, and he figured he'd come to his hometown of Port Jeff. I think, what did they say was a... Oh, would you like to know more?
Yeah, please. I get a little nervous. I get like a stage fright. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, as I was saying, what did he have, a budget of like $7,000?
Yes, he did.
So.
That other gentleman. Oh, was it a garbage man?
Yeah.
You don't have any more returnables in there, right?
No, I think that was the only returnable.
Oh, what's it called? This is Greasy. This is it's Taco Bell though.
Yeah, from yesterday.
There's a lot here though. It's kind of a shame to be throwing this away. Look at all this.
Well, I couldn't finish.
Yeah. Leave the black thing on here. Cigarette. You got sauces down here. You mind if I take this? Because I didn't have a chance to eat anything all day. Seriously, would you mind? I mean, not on the show. I don't know if that's
just
proper protocol there, but
fine.
Just
eat it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Cold there. But yeah, we went down there. He's doing $7,000 is not a great deal of money to put into a film.
What exactly was the
scene that I was involved in?
Yeah.
I was walking on the street, and originally they had asked me to like keep going further, and I don't know what happened. It seemed like each time they would redo the scene 6-7 times, and each time they say, "Could you go further down the road?" And I said, "Sure." And I go back. I don't know. I guess they were going. They had a crane. They were going for like one of those far away shots because apparently when I was up close with the rest of the people, they couldn't get me on camera. I don't know why. So they made me go really far back where I could barely see what was going on at one point.
Because I was...
And I waited for them to come
I
and
got
get me
involved.
later and tell me when they finished shooting, and I didn't see them. I guess they moved on to the next shot. at that
I did
point.
get involved with the filming. There was a funeral scene that was shot. The film takes place in 1931. It's
Use this plate here.
uh,
I'm gonna make a mess there.
World War One, a World War One veteran. It's about, was it like 12 years after World War One, and he's going through some of the internal, fighting internally within himself. And there's a scene, and there was a scene, a funeral scene. So I volunteered to help out. I'm just always looking to get involved with things. So I volunteered. That's what the beers like this, that 1930s look.
Theater's a great thing.
Oh, I love theater. I've been doing a lot of things around. I have a Stony Brook University. I help out with a lot of their shows. I used to be a student there until I left the state and went to Florida. But I'm back here in New York, right back here on Long Island, where my roots are. Because I love Long Island. I mean, there's just something about it. I mean, you can take a man out of Long Island, but you just can't take Long Island out of the man. I guess I'm living proof of it. Yeah.
I wanted to get into theater when I saw that movie, Down on Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
I actually thought I thought of coming out with my own screenplay and something like that. Down out like New York, on Long Island, because that's a really rough area. That's a really bad area to be down out. I mean, how do you complain about being down out in California? I mean, I watch the shows like 91020
90210.
And I mean, how do you feel? Look at how those people live. It's hard to feel sorry for anybody. I mean, even the people who are not doing well, comparatively, must be getting better treatment than the people, out here. Out here, people, like everybody is in a bad situation out here on the island. Things are really rough, Grumman's always lying off. I mean, people go to college just to find out that they're not going to do very well.
Yeah,
that's what I hear. I don't see that.
My
personally.
college education really didn't get me anywhere. Where I've gotten today.
You dress nice though. You look good. You look really good.
It's just knowing which thrift stores to shop at for the best deals.
Yeah, I can say that that's important because it's all how you project yourself. If you're gonna get involved with people, you gotta have an air of confidence about you. You gotta believe in yourself, and if you do, then or even if you don't, but you make people think you do, people give you the benefit of the doubt, and they'll follow you on things.
I totally agree with you on that one point.
Yeah.
Getting back to the Craig Shepard thing. In fact, on our next installment, I believe I'm going to be having an interview with Mr. Craig Shepard. I suppose he's still doing filming this week. So by the time he's done with his filming and ready
It's going to be very hard to get him because I called him many times because they had promised they were going to give me comp, which is food, right? When you work.
Copy?
Comp. You don't get paid, but you get something else when you're in movies.
Usually you get copy and meal.
That's what I was going for. And I didn't get fed that day, so
maybe they'll give you copy.
I thought they would. That's why. But I called the number they gave me, and they take messages, but he never calls me back. So he's probably a very, very busy man. I would think, yeah.
Well,
so
we're just hoping that we do get him on the show. Like you said, he is a busy man, and I'm sure fellow Long Islanders would love to hear from the man who's bringing Long Island back into the movies. As I was saying, I was an extra in his film. Like I volunteered, and it was a funeral scene, so I was one of the pallbearers. You see the film on the pallbearer rear right of it, carrying the casket and stuff.
That's really cool.
I had to get a black suit, an overcoat and a hat. Of course, the long hair, it was like all tucked up underneath the hat. The earring had to be out and stuff, but otherwise, it was fun. I had a really good time. I met a lot of contacts, met a lot of people, and just met a couple of girls. So, nice thing about being single now, I can just go to all the women I want.
Well,
yeah, that's a good thing. I should broadcast so well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
This is frank discussion. You could probably talk about sex or anything you wanted to, right?
Well, I think there are guidelines that we have to follow.
You couldn't demonstrate it. Well, yeah.
I mean, even though this is all private, independent production, the local cable company is being nice enough to, air the show for us, even though they have no association with this show. Can't strongly emphasize that enough.
Mm-hmm.
But they have no association with the show, but they're showing, our show for us. So I do thank them for that, giving us a forum to just go and talk on the air and talk to our neighbors.
Which I think is great because, I mean, that's something I never understood. You see all these singers singing these like really tender love songs and stuff, and they're like millionaires, and you know they don't have any problems. So I don't want to hear about, you know, I don't want to hear a millionaire like singing the blues to me. I'd rather see some blind guy with one arm laying in a gutter, you know, covered with saliva, singing a song, because then you know he's singing from the heart. You know, you might not even understand what he's saying, or that would be, to me, would be a real genuine performance. A guy's like, he's like, you don't know what he's saying, but you know he means it. It's coming from the heart. Whereas with other people, I think they're just doing it for a monetary
thing.
gain.
That could just be indigestion. If he's like sitting in the street, just you know, ate something out of garbage. Like,
But I just think, somebody like me, like when you explained to me that you wanted somebody from the area on the show as a guest host,
I like to stick with, you know, this is a local show. I could bring in local residents.
and I think that's good. It gives you that flavor, flavor of what goes on in the area. You know, I mean, you could have been a phony. You've been away. You've been in other states and stuff. You could have brought in other kinds of people, and they could have just came on, just took advantage of the medium. You know what I mean? Just brought in people who just wanted to get on to look good, to glamorize themselves or something. You know, to be big shots. But instead, you didn't do that. You decided that you're going to do a very serious show and use people from the area. And I think that's great. You know,
Andy Warhol said everyone should have that 15 minutes of fame. So I want, that's why this is an open show. I want people to call us. The number was given out at the beginning, and it'll be given out again at the end. Call us or write to us. And, I'd like to talk with you, actual Long Islanders, bring you all on the show. Not all at the same time,
But I think that's a great thing. That's a great thing.
One at a time, just bring on different people, all professions, nationalities, races, creeds, whatever.
And have
just an open discussion, just basically, hence the name, frank discussion.
And I guess I represent the average guy.
On Long Island, yes.
Yeah. So like you at home, you don't have to feel inhibited in any way. If there's something you want to ask of a particular politician or something, can I have another drink, please?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. I'm gonna move this, all right? This cup. I'm gonna hold on to it because I want to go through it later. If it's all right. I'm just gonna leave it over here.
Sure.
Thanks.
Knock yourself out.
Thanks. But it's good because people at home who might not be comfortable, calling on a phone. There are people who do that. Women will call QVC and stuff. There are some people who never leave their apartment. They feel a little uneasy, or they've had hip surgery or something. There's always something. So there are people who don't, go out of their way. And here, they can feel comfortable.
If they want,
they'll see someone like me, an average person.
Any time and just talk with either me or, since
the host.
Yeah, I'm the host. In fact, if you want, I was considering this before. I know we started out as just you being a guest. Would you consider being my co-host?
I think that would be great.
What do you think?
I think that's great. Thanks.
Okay. So now you'll be co-host. So it'll be both of us, and we'll talk with other people from Long Island.
And I have time. I have a lot of free time, and I'm on SSI, so I can do research. I can be right out there. I can go out there and work for you. Try to get those interviews, those top politicians, get in there and see what they're thinking, and get them to give us, to give the show their time. I think that's.
In fact, I'd like to get, any politicians out there. If you want to come on the show, just give us a call, and we'll be more than welcome to air your views on the show. Allow you to air your views. God, I guess I get the first show jitters and stuff, and find that.
I'm starting to feel a little relaxed myself.
This is starting to kick in.
Yeah.
This Black Label is really good stuff.
It's very good. I have to be honest with you. I was sort of putting on airs when I first got here because this is not what I would normally drink, but I like this. This is very, very good.
But we try to have only the best on the show.
Yeah. It is. It's a little bit better than what I'm accustomed to.
We don't want to take
a
rip or something like that. We want to bring on the Johnny Walker, the Gabrielli DeVito.
It is good. It is good stuff. But that's not what we're here. This is my 5 cents. So let's talk about the topics. Let's break the show in. You did. I'm very comfortable here. I could stay here all night. I love it here.
Well, one of the most recent things I read in the paper was, I started to read. I caught a headline. I started reading a little bit into it. I got interrupted. There's an article in the paper about lack of Jewish cops out here on Long Island.
Huh.
So
I'm surprised
did you read? Did you happen to read that article? It was a couple of days ago in the paper.
No, I didn't.
Because I was wondering what your views would be on that.
Oh no, I can comment on things whether I'm very well informed on it or not, because, you know, I have opinions on a lot of things, and that particular thing, the way I see that, I can understand it quite easily. Jewish cops, not enough Jewish cops on Long Island. I would think that there's a very simple reason for that, because
I'd like to hear it. Okay.
the problem working, you know, it's a team. You got to work as a team.
Yeah.
You know, they're known for that. You know, the
Suffolk County Police.
Oh yeah, oh yes. Well, I don't know what Suffolk County Police are known for, but I mean cops on TV. You know, real cops. I'm talking about. You know, like, you know, the real cops. I'm not talking about Long Island cops at all. You know, they're real cops. No, they're real. They really are real cops. But I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. And anyway, I think that as a team, you do what the rest of the team does. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like in LA, they know this. You know, when one officer is stopping a man, they don't think, they just do. That's their job. They all get involved. They do what they got to do, and they don't think about it. It's like, you know, pay the consequences later. Just, you know, maintain control or something. I don't know what it is out there, but out here it's a whole different thing. It's you're working with different groups. The Teamsters understand this whole philosophy. You got to keep things going. You know, everybody, you know, doing their own thing. I think the guy who owned all those car dealerships, he understood. Yeah, he understood what was going on. And I hate to say that, but that's the language of the land. You know, so I think what it is the police, the Jewish police, don't quite don't grasp this. The Irish people have this down pat to a science. Because you'll see, you know, from what I've heard, a lot of my relatives were bootleggers. You know, they were very big in different groups and stuff. Presidents of this association and that and this. And I think what it is the Jewish cops haggle too much. That's what it is. If there's a robbery in progress, if there's some kind of crime taking place, and crime is out there, people, it happens. We have Crime Watch on one of this cable system that we're on, that we're not affiliated with, but we're on this cable system, and you see things going on, and that's the stuff that's reported. Now, come on, you know, like in rapes, there are a lot of rapes that are not reported.
Yeah,
okay, because you never hear about men being raped. So I guess that just doesn't make the news.
I think of it as, first off, you know, girl takes advantage of the guy, most likely the guy wants it. I mean, come on, you know, guys.
Well, that might be a misconception.
It's like a bragging thing.
That's putting down your own gender. That's what women want us to think. That's a control type of thing.
I only wish there was more women want to take advantage of me, but
I think that they probably have. You just don't realize it. I would say that I'm pretty sure that I've been taken advantage of one or two times. I just might not remember it. I might have been sleeping or something, or drunk or something. Who knows?
All right, but getting back to
But it
this
happens.
Jewish cop thing. Now you were saying, what is it? You're talking about?
Well, like
the
with the
Jewish
rape
cops
thing, a
haggle?
lot of crimes aren't committed. So I mean, aren't
reported.
So you know, with the crimes we're hearing about, those are situations where they couldn't work things out. They couldn't rectify. They couldn't come to an understanding. And it's probably Jewish cops. All the crimes. That's why, you know, people. You know, there's no reason to have a problem with any ethnic group. I don't. But when you read the papers, you know, when you know, like robbery foiled. You know, there's a Jewish cop involved. You know this. You know, suspect caught. Jewish cops. Because if it was the Irish or the Italian, there would be other types of punishments. I mean, with the Irish, there's like a surcharge, a tax that's levied right there at the scene. You know, the guy was like, ooh, you know, and then have, you know, this is not wrong. And they're like, take this for your, you know, they tell the cops, take this for your trouble. I know it's a lot, driving unsafely through towns, rushing on the way here. You know, it's not, you know, I know your job's tough and this and that. Put this away, and you know, then they do, and then everything's cool.
It's like they can just go.
Bribery, it's out there, it happens.
And you're trying to say that the Jewish cops, they tend to just haggle?
Right. They haggle. They'll sit there and they start talking to you, and they try to, you know, they want more than you would give them, but then at the same time they want to tell you a story, and then at the same time, I don't know if it's a guilt thing, they feel bad that they're trying to get more from you than you really wanted to share with them, so then they start giving you things that you didn't need, that they were saving for a rainy day, like an old tire or I don't know, a photograph or a comb or something, So there you are, you're leaving a robbery with things that you didn't want to begin with that shouldn't even be there. And then you also, sitting there arguing.
You're wasting valuable time.
And I don't even think, it's not about money. One thing, I have friends that are Jewish, I think. And I think it's a principle thing. It's not even about money. People have that misconception. They think Jewish people are just out for money. I don't think so. I think Jewish people just want, I don't know if they just want to break people, break them down, their willpower. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an intellectual thing. It's like, some kind of intellectual chess game that takes place whenever you're negotiating with one of them. I don't know. That's just my own opinion. That's just my opinion. So I guess to sum this up, because this is almost the whole show on one topic, which is usually we cook right through this.
Well, we've had discussions,
Many
when we
times.
first met, we just had many discussions. We flew through topics, and we couldn't believe it. We just sat for hours.
I used to follow him, because he was always on his way somewhere, and I was, outside different buildings. And then I followed you in here, and then, you got that goofy idea to put on a show, and it worked out pretty good.
Another thing I'd like to discuss is,
I think the answer was because they haggle, The Italian people, they yell at you, and they're a little upset because you didn't make prior arrangements, through family members of this to get permission to do things and then pay in advance. Where the Irish want to be paid on the spot, and I think the Jewish people,
just haggle.
I don't know, they want long-term payments. I don't know what the story is, or they don't want any. They
want interest.
They just want to make you feel guilty. I don't know what it is. I can't figure it out.
What I'd like to talk about is President Clinton, with gays in the military. I know it's a topic it's still going strong, even though now there's other things he's going into with his new economic plan. But I still think the gays in the military, it's still not a settled issue. I mean, true, he's been trying to get, abolish the ban.
Mm-hmm.
But all he's gotten accomplished so far would just be abolishing the question, are you a homosexual, on the application for the service.
Well, I tell you, I'm for it and I am against it. I'm for it in a way, and I'm against it in a way.
First off, my having been a military person, I was in the Air Force, I do think there's a problem with having gays in the military.
Well,
there
of
is a morale problem.
You can't keep surfacing submarines every time there's a Irish Day parade or something in Huntington. I mean, you can't have that. That's ridiculous.
Well,
you can't have men in, Port of Call rushing back to Huntington to march in a parade. I understand your point.
No, I see it more as, I think there is a morale problem. I mean, you're in the showers and stuff, just no matter, you're in tight quarters with these people, you start wondering, looking at me, they're just, are they checking me out, or just look, they having a glance at me, or are they checking me out?
Right. Like in football, it wouldn't be a good thing. People usually, they pat you on the behind as a sign of support, like,
that was a good play.
That was a good play.
Okay,
but if the guy, doesn't pull his hand back, and and then you say, well, is he homosexual, or was that a good play? And then it messes up your whole train of thought and the way you play the whole sport.
So I think the same applies in the military. You start wondering, did that guy save me from that bullet or whatever, because that was his job, or he do it because now he feels I owe him something,
Right, you let him on, right, sure,
So,
not even meaning to.
I mean, we've had a straight military. There might have been gays in the military, but because of our bands, the bands we've had throughout the years, centuries even,
Yeah.
was about 2 centuries, 3 centuries we've had an army, and they couldn't come out of the closet within the service, otherwise they'd be court-martialed. So they couldn't let on they were gay. So all these years we've had a strong military. Now with all this friction, with this friction
comprised
going on,
of
poor choice of words, I know,
gays
but,
that,
and everyone coming out of the
frustrated.
closet and being allowed to come out, I think there's going to be a big morale problem. There's going to be a decline in our armed forces because there's a lot of homophobes out there. I have nothing against the politically correct, homosexual population, but I don't feel I should, it's a place with the army where I'm going to be in an area with a lot of same gender.
Right.
I think,
So you're saying, well, you're talking about the army, because if you're in foxholes and stuff, and you're crawling and stuff, and here's a guy with a, thing, and he's behind you, I don't know if that would be a good thing, because, you might be enticing him, because even though you're trying to get a shot, your buttocks is moving around there, and it's mesmerizing him, it's hypnotizing him, it's calling to him, And I think it might distract him. He might be firing at different people, just going, "Oh, I love you." You can't have that. I understand, but at the same point, a bunch of 1,000 gay American men storming over hills, going, "Woo, baby!" They're running when they're waving sheet, colored sheet things and headbands and stuff.
Like psych out the opponent. Yeah.
Yeah, it would scare them. And in wartime, don't you always look for that element of surprise? Wouldn't that surprise people?
Maybe. I was thinking, if you separate the gays within the military, but then again, that might be another form of discrimination. But the question is whether that would be...
Well, there would be a separation eventually.
But I'm talking separation, as far as gay quarters and regular quarters. But then that might be another form of discrimination. So like when we used to segregate the blacks from the whites, blacks at the back of the bus, whites...
Well, I think you have to segregate because of there's a differential. There's like a conversion. Because how many gay men...
Which is the greater of the two evils? Discriminating against them within the service and separating them, or discriminating from them and telling them that they can't go in at all?
Well, I don't think it would matter if the military discriminates, because there's real men discriminating against...
I mean, they do...
so they're used to that anyway.
They finally allow women in the military, except...
See, that's what's great. Gay women don't give it away. They just act a little more manly, and it's a...
But women...
And that's more acceptable.
But then again, women aren't allowed... There's another form of discrimination. Women aren't allowed to be in the infantry positions and stuff. So,
well, no, I'm all for that, because... first of all, I don't think if you're having children, you shouldn't even be in the service. I don't believe that it should always be an issue with women, no matter where they work, breastfeeding. That's all you ever hear. It's like, well, they have a right to breastfeed on the job, and they should have certain time off when they're having babies and stuff, and companies should give this and that. And that's great,
Tom. Infantry.
Infantry.
Right.
I don't think that's necessary. I don't think pregnant women are going to be any kind of positive force to reckon with. I mean,
when I say infantry,
all right, you got PMS, you have some motivating factors. I mean, that's a good argument for putting Geraldine Ferraro in the office.
Tom.
But
infantry, as in shooting the guns, front line positions, infantry.
Women with kids in the infantry. Shooting guns is Army.
Right. Well, Army, Marines, they all have infantry front line positions.
Infantry, children. Infantry. Infants.
No, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with children. The word infantry does not mean children. It's just infantry, which is shooting the guns.
You have women in the Army. That's infantry. You have women.
Okay.
What are you talking about? He doesn't even know. Infantry, women with babies in war. And I see that, and again, it comes down to motivation. What is motivating these people? Are the homosexual men there to kill? I don't think so. I don't meet that many frightening homosexual men. I'm not really intimidated by that many of them. I get insulted by gay men because they never come on to me. Not that I want them to.
Have you ever seen the Pink Panthers?
It'd be nice if they just at least look at you in that way.
Have you ever seen? Because
I'm a man, right?
No.
I don't understand.
Have you ever seen the Pink Panthers? The Pink Panthers? They're a group that's similar to like the Guardian Angels and stuff. They're a militant group, homosexual militant group. I don't know. I myself, when I first read it, I just couldn't think of.
Pink Panthers, no.
I could. They have a little Pink Panther claw.
Oh, really?
I just couldn't see them. A militant gay group. It was like, now stop that.
If you kick over like their whole line of mopeds, they'd probably get upset. I imagine. I don't know what they would do, but I don't want to make. I'm not making fun of homosexual people because I've always been around theater groups and stuff, and
a lot of homosexuality there.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it, and the group that this organization we're not affiliated with in any whatever way, they're in TV, so that this show would be off the air like that. I would imagine if we said anything about gay. I'm not against gay people at all.
Okay.
So the whole issue was again it comes down to
I guess getting over
credibility, maybe?
Getting over most people's fears of homosexuals. And we can
I guess so. It's an important issue to talk about. We have to come to terms with this.
Okay,
there are people out there that are,
I have to, we're coming to a close. I can see my stage manager.
And maybe it's a good thing to put
stage manager's telling me we have to
give them guns because they can defend themselves. Because,
my stage manager's telling us that we have
they can't fight good. I don't think they can fight good. They bruise easily.
I would give them guns. We have to wrap this up. My station manager's telling us. So I should
Can
wrap
we
this
still
up.
get the, can we finish this, or do we have to save this for next week?
No,
Or do they
we can
replace
finish
it?
up afterward. But
All right.
so this has been Frank Discussion.
That's cool.
It's an open forum talk show. So if you'd like to give us your comments, write to us at Frank Discussion.
You
P.O.
read
Box.
letters though, right? That's yours.
Yeah, I'll read letters. So write to us with your suggestions, hate mail, fan mail, at
Thanks.
Frank Discussion, P.O. Box 330, Selden, New York, 11784. Or you can call us at 516-696-5677. Frank Discussion, where we discuss what you discuss.